What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Um, Getting into this episode of GH. Okay, yesterday I was convinced that Elizabeth was gonna go to Jason and start screeching, acting a fool. But I was Team Liz today. I was on Liz's side through and through today. I really was, and normally that's not always the case with me and Liz because it's kind of a love-hate relationship. But I was totally on her side today when she confronted Jason. When she told Jason that Franco has been more of a father to Jake than Jason ever has, I was like, I was not expecting her to go there because normally Liz would not say some shit like that, but Liz went there. And I was like, damn, Liz. I was perplexed that she went there. She stooped to that. I was not now that's some shit I would expect Carly to say. Because I do remember Carly said that to Sonny back in like 2010. Carly had said that to Sonny when she wanted Jax to adopt Morgan. That Jax was more of a father to Morgan than Sonny was because Jax went to Morgan's karate, took him kayaking. Like he did everything that a father normally would, well, a father would do with their son, called bonding. Sonny was always running around busy doing X, Y, and Z. I was expecting that from Carly, but damn, Liz went there. And let me tell you something. I totally agreed with Liz. I mean, don't get me wrong, over the years, her and Jason kind of had an agreement when Jake was younger that, Jason would have minimum contact, minimum visitation with him. That was their original deal. But when Jason came back from the dead, he had full access to Jake. He could spend time with him anytime he wanted to, more than he ever did before. And look at where we are now. Jason spends more time with Danny than he does with Jake. And I do agree with Liz. Franco has stepped up to the damn plate with them boys. Like he's sitting here busting his ass trying to pay for college for Cameron. He's been there for Aiden when Aiden was getting picked on in school and started baking with him. He's been there for Jake when Jake was going through what he was going through when Helena was, basically controlling him and he was traumatized and stuff. Franco has been there for all three of those boys. Financially and emotionally, he has been there for them boys. He has treated them kids as if they were his blood children. He doesn't even see them as stepkids. He see them as his kids too. You know what I mean? He has been there for them boys. And that's why, as much as I could not stand Franco, because I didn't like that they were trying to whitewash everything that he did, I will say and I will commend him for that. Because even in real life, what man, not many men, would step up to the plate like that and take care of somebody's child, let alone three kids, and claim them as their own. You know what I mean? Not many men out here would do some shit like that. So to see that on TV, that's a beautiful goddamn thing. I ain't even gonna sugarcoat it. That's some real shit right there. And I commend Franco for it. I've always gave him his props for that because he stepped up for them boys. He really did. Lucky's off living La Vida Loca somewhere in Ireland or Africa or wherever doing what he doing. Cameron's birth father's dead. Jason's running around shooting up people and doing whatever he doing to protect Carly and her coven. So Franco stepped up for them boys, and I respect it. I respect it. You get my respect for that because any man who could step up for kids that ain't his, you get my damn respect. You surely do, because not many would do it. So I'm glad Liz took it there. I was shocked that she took it there on Jason, but I'm glad she did. Like she's standing up for her husband. I understand. Don't get me wrong. I understand where Jason's concerns is because let's not forget Franco when he did have that brain tumor, he put Jason and Sam through hell. Like he put that community, he put that town through hell. He even kidnapped Aiden. You know what I mean? So let's not forget anything that Franco has done. Because at the end of the day, he did do some horrible shit. Don't get me wrong, he did. So from that perspective, I can totally understand why Jason is worried about his son and why he's worried about Sam and everybody else involved. Because if your tumor is back, of course Jason's gonna worry about that. I can't say that I blame Jason for worrying. But to go that route, like, oh, I kill you, I just, even though Franco came to him and was like, if I start acting crazy, kill me. Um, so I could totally understand Jason's point of view, but I get Liz's point of view as well. Like, she's sticking up for her husband because at the end of the day, that's her husband. And he's been her rock for a little while now. Even when you got to remember too, when Liz's rapist came back in the town into the picture, Franco was there for her through that time. You know what I mean? And she was there for Franco when Jim Harvey came around. You know what I mean? Like they have really, been there for each other. So I don't blame her for stepping up to the plate for her husband. She's not about to let Jason or anybody kill her husband. It's not gonna happen. And she meant those words when she threatened his ass because she had the balls to literally threaten Jason and tell him like, you try and kill my husband, you do any harm to my husband, you're gonna regret it. I don't blame her. I can't say I blame her. She stood up to him. And I know Jason was just thinking like, he's in between a rock and a hard place because you know how Jason is. Despite what Liz says or thinks, if push come to shove, he will kill Franco regardless of what she just said. Regardless of her threats, he don't care. If push come to shove, he will kill Franco. He don't give a damn. But he's between a rock and a hard place because that's going to put him obviously at odds with Liz, and that's not where he wants to be. It's not good for him. It's not good for Jake. It's not good for nothing. It's just not good. Especially everything else he's dealing with right now. That's just bad for business. You know what I mean? Like, but what you gonna do? So I totally get both of their perspectives. Speaking of Franco, I know that conversation was so hard for Scott to have with his son, but I do respect the fact that Franco's getting his ducks in order just in case, he's getting his business handled just in case he does die. He doesn't know what's going to happen to him. He doesn't know how this tumor is going to affect him. So he's handling his business. He's making sure everything's good. And he basically was looking out for Jason. He was like, if I start acting crazy and Jason has to kill me, he told Scott, write up a document, represent me even in death to make sure that Jason gets exonerated and he doesn't go down for my death, for my murder. Because that's what Franco wanted. I don't know if that's going to work with a judge or a DA. I don't know if that's going to really work. But I commend Franco for doing it. I commend him. Even though, I mean, that's kind of crazy to just be walking up to folks talking about, well, if I bug out, kill me. You ain't going to see me doing that. But But Franco just trying to handle his business because he doesn't know what's gonna happen with this tumor. He don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. He don't know. So it's not operable. So he's just preparing for the worst, basically. He's hoping for the best, but he's preparing for the worst. And I can't say that I blame him on that one. I really can't. So anyway, moving on from that. Um Jocelyn was kind of pissing me off a little bit. Like her whole conversation with Carly was kind of irritating to me because she's sitting here talking about some, oh, Ava taking Avery, that was hateful. Her taking her child is hateful. Don't get me wrong, I understand Ava, I understand Avery lived at that house for quite some time. I get it, that's her home too. But Ava and Avery clearly have an established relationship. Ava spends ample time with her daughter, and her daughter is obviously comfortable around her. So I don't see what's wrong with her staying with her biological mother. Carly is not her mother. Yeah, Carly was helping Sonny take care of her for a time, when Ava was out of the way or whatever, but that's still Ava's child. You know what I mean? She had every right to take her. So Jocelyn needs to calm that shit down. Like, I understand you hate Ava. You may be entitled to your hatred, but don't sit here and be talking crazy now. This woman has every right to take her child. Um, but of course, she's worried because Jocelyn gave the heart necklace, the half heart necklace or whatever, to Ava. So now she's worried that maybe Ava's gonna figure out a way to connect the dots, or Nina's gonna see it and connect the dots, um, and figure it out. So of course she comes calling Jax, worried, and Jax comes running over there like her little butler to handle her. Jax is basically ready to tell Nina the truth. He wants to tell her. Carly's stalling, talking about some, oh, nah, let me figure out a plan. Let me just figure something out first. Let me figure out a way to get the necklace back or do whatever. Um, you might as well just tell. She's sitting there begging for more time and stuff. I'm like, Jax, tell that woman the truth. Tell Nina the truth. If you really love her like you say you do, you would tell her the damn truth. You really would. If he really loved her like that and really cared for her like that, he would not have hesitated to tell Nina the truth. Like, I understand Carly's your ex-wife. You care for her. She's the mother of your child. I get that. And you want to protect her. But Carly has a bunch of other people around her to protect her. She don't really need Jax's protection. Because Carly talking about, oh, I can save us both or whatever. You wouldn't have to save nothing if you just tell the truth. From the get-go, you should have said something, because the blowback from this now is just going to be crazy. Because I know Nina going to go to hell off. Nina got crazy tendencies sometimes. I felt bad for Nina because Nina clearly regrets stopping the search for her daughter. She pretty much told Curtis that. Like, all she knows is that her daughter was adopted by a family in Florida and she decided to stop it. She regrets it. She regrets it. Um, like, even Curtis was getting suspicious because he even raised his eyebrow when Jax got that call and had to rush out to go get, go tend to Carly or whatever, and Nina was making all type of excuses for it and stuff, and Curtis was looking like he's not convinced. He knows something ain't right. Curtis know. As a former cop and current private investigator, Curtis, his spidey senses were tingling. He knew something wasn't right. Something's amiss. Um, and Nina pretty much admitted, like, giving up the search for her daughter was hard for her. But my thing is, get Curtis back on this case, because Curtis even told her like he'll continue to search. But she was like, no, I ain't gonna do it. No, do it. If you regret it and you feel like, damn, like, why I do this, why I do that, then do it. I feel like she should. I really feel like she should. She should continue to search. The Sonny scene with Lenny and all them, I didn't really care for it, honestly. He was just giving them tips about signature drinks, and Lenny was pretty much trying to tell Phyllis like they need to get rid of him, like he need to go, because he basically up in there trying to take over their little bar or whatever, and Lenny's not having it. I can't wait for them to get rid of this storyline. I'll be so happy when it's over. Honestly, truthfully. So anyway, moving on from that, I feel so bad for Olivia because she really thought Alexis was her friend. And Olivia was pissed. She was like, "You've been up in my face all this time for these past few months, showing no sign of remorse that she slept with her husband, and now all of a sudden because Olivia was like, this is the first time that she's seen regret in Alexis's eyes." And I think Olivia's starting to question, like, is she really like regretting it? Like, is she really remorseful? Or is she only remorseful because the secret's now out because she got caught? You know what I mean? Because Alexis really wasn't remorseful at all the whole time. She had no regrets about it. Now all of a sudden you're remorseful. And I know Olivia probably questioning that remorse. Like, is it genuine remorse or is it, oh shit, I got caught remorse? Ned was pissing me off. See, that's why I felt like Tracy should have stayed out of this, because he's a grown ass man. And the way that Ned tried to flip this around on Tracy was pissing me off, because he's sitting there talking about, oh, you're trying to control my life because your life is empty. Really, Ned? First of all, if Tracy wanted to control his life, she would have never left Port Charles. She would have stayed. If she really wanted control, she would have stayed. I think Tracy genuinely tried to save his marriage. She was looking out for her son. Why else would she do it? It wasn't about control. It's not like Tracy genuinely cares that much for Olivia. So even if they divorced, I doubt Tracy would give a shit. You know what I mean? She was doing it because she could see that Olivia and Ned were happy. And that's what she wanted for her son, for them to remain happy. That's why she got involved. And Tracy keeps trying to tell Alexis that she did it because she wanted Alexis to go to rehab. I know some people probably don't believe that that's true, but think about it. Alexis, the secret is out. Tracy copped to everything, so I'm starting to believe that that was partly general. I think that was partly true on Tracy's part. Maybe she did want Alexis to get some help, but also because she had an agenda, because she wanted Alexis out of the way. But I think it was both those reasons as to why she did what she did. Um, but Ned was just pissing me off though. And now, of course, Olivia doesn't want her son to be a part of the Quartermain family at this point because she feels like they're all liars. She's disgusted by Ned at this point, and she's disgusted by the Quartermain family because this is how they operate. Cheating, lying, scandal, this is how they operate. My thing about Olivia is you knew all of this before you married Ned. Like, did she think it was going to change? Like, she knew how the Quartermains were when she got involved with that family. I mean, come on. It's well documented. The Quartermains are synonymous in that town. They are the damn town. You know what I mean? So there's no way you could live in Port Charles and not know all of the scandals and everything that's been done and said about them. So of course Olivia knew. So it's like, don't act surprised now. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's still fucked up. Ned did what he did, but don't act surprised. Do not. Um, but I do feel bad for Olivia because she didn't deserve that. She really did. She was a damn good wife to him. And Ned, he gonna have to do something to make it up to her. He's gonna have to do something drastic to make up for this. Um, but anyway, that was pretty much the whole episode. Hit the comment section. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode, and I will see you all later. I'll see you all Monday. Have a great weekend. Have a great night. See you all later. Peace.